Namaskar, hello and a very warm welcome to CIET NCERT's live phone and interactive program. My name is Tanvi Khurana and all the students who are studying in class 8th. This is a science class for all of you. We are going to study this topic, which is reaching the age of adolescence. Now, who are adolescents and what is this age? From which age does it begin and where it ends? I have a lot of questions in my mind. If you also have a few queries, you want to ask something regarding this chapter, regarding this topic, please reach out to us. You can simply call us on our number, which is 8800440559. And if you want to email us, the email ID would be dth.class8@ciet.nic.in. At this moment, you're watching us on eVidya channel number 8 alongside our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Official. In the live chat box, you can write down your questions, your queries and share them with us. We have a guest with us and she'll be more than happy to answer all your doubts, all your queries. Let me please welcome Mrs. Rekha Chaudhary. Ma'am, a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very good afternoon to one and all.
Good afternoon to you too, ma'am. Ma'am is a PGT from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sanghatan, New Delhi. So let's begin with the understanding of the word adolescence. Ma'am, what is this word and would you like to define it for our viewers, please?
Yes, sure, ma'am. So a very good afternoon to one and all again. Today we are going to learn our chapter Reaching the Age of Adolescence. We will see all the basic terms related in this chapter and what actually the adolescence is, what the puberty is and what are the changes that takes place during the puberty. So let's start with our presentation.
Okay.
So here you can see that from the day 1 when a baby is born, it begins to grow. The various changes that takes place in the body are part of the growing process. Now, the term adolescence, as we are talking about, the time period when body undergoes some changes leading to reproductive maturity. This is called adolescence and it starts from 10 to 13 years of age and it will end at 19 years. Between the ages of 11 years and 19 years, children are known as adolescents. During this period, adolescents are also called teenagers or teens.
So ma'am, here if we talk about adolescents, both the girls and the boys come in the same term, right?
Yes, ma'am. The changes will take place simultaneously in both boys and girls. However, there are some differences between the changes. I'll discuss it later on.
Okay.
So now the term puberty comes during the adolescence period. During the adolescence, the body that undergoes several changes and becomes capable of reproduction. These changes are the beginning of this stage, puberty. Now various changes that takes place during the puberty, or we can say that during the adolescent stage, are physical changes, physiological changes, psychological changes, final sexual maturity will be there in this stage, reproductive phase will start. In male, it is from 12 year onwards and in female, it will be from 10 to 11 year onwards till 50 years of the age of a female. Now, in this class, we will talk about various changes that takes place during puberty. The important changes taking place during puberty are increase in height, change in body shape, voice change, increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands, development of sex organs, reaching mental, intellectual and emotional maturity. So, we will see all these changes one by one. First of all, let's see increase in height. By the age of 11, a boy reaches about 80% of his height and a girl reaches about 88% of her height. Initially, girls grow faster than boys. By about 18 years of age, both boys and girls reach their maximum height. However, the height is similar to the parents because it will depend on the genes inherited from the parents.
So, are you saying, ma'am, after 18 years of age, the height doesn't grow?
Yes, it will be very difficult because the growth hormone will release till the age of 18 years. So, in the puberty, you will get your maximum height.
Okay, all right.
Next change will be change in body shape during puberty. Boys have broader shoulders and wider chest due to the faster growth of muscles. In girls, the breast begins to develop and the region below the waist becomes wider in girls. So, there will be change in body shape as well during the puberty stage or for adolescence.
So, ma'am, is it the case that in some cases of girls, let's say the speed of growth is less and in others the speed is a little faster?
In boys the height will grow later on during the age of 15 to 18, but in girls they develop their bodies organs as well as the breast size, the waist size during the early ages of adolescence.
Okay.
Next we have voice change. You must have seen there is a change in the voice in adolescence. During puberty, in boys the voice box, also known as larynx, becomes larger and it is seen as a swelling in the throat. It is also known as Adam's apple for boys, and their voice becomes deep and hoarse. In girls, the voice box is smaller as comparison to boys, and their voice is highly pitched. Later their voice becomes normal, but Adam's apple will be visible in girls or in boys only. Next we have increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands. During the puberty, the secretions of the sweat and sebaceous glands, also known as oil glands, increases and many teens get acne and pimples on their face. So, this is a regular change that takes place in their body during this age. So, there is no need to get worried about the getting acne and pimples on their face. Next and the most important change during puberty is development of sex organs. During puberty in boys, the testes, the reproductive part of the male, and penis develops completely and produces sperms. So, the production of sperm started during the puberty age. In girls, the ovaries develop completely and they start the production of eggs. Next change is reaching mental, intellectual and emotional maturity. During puberty, boys and girls, mental, intellectual and emotional development take place. They become more independent, self-conscious and their way of thinking changes during this age.
Ma'am, what other emotions do they develop while this age is going on?
Yes, ma'am. Here you can see on the slide as well that the emotional changes that can occur during the puberty are mood swings and intense emotions and reactions, more sensitive to the world around them. Confusion state will be there, uncertainty and indecisiveness. They will not be able to take the decisions at the right way. Feeling self-conscious about the appearance, feeling more pressure from peers to fit in. They also got confusion about sexual feelings and self-identity. There will be changes in relationship with others, parents, neighbors and in society also. There will be increased desire to spend time alone during this age. So, how we can help our child as a parent to navigate this emotional roller coaster ride of puberty? The first step is talking and listening. Talk openly. Encourage them. Encourage your child or student to ask questions. Listen to them and assure them that you will listen if they need to vent feelings. Share your own experience if appropriate. Allow your child time and space. Let them have private time and space to process these things they are experiencing and feeling. Let them know you are there if you need to talk, but try not to pressure them to do so. Kindly manage your expectations from your students and child during this age. It's important to maintain rules and boundaries during this time, but make sure your expectations of them develop gradually. You will need time to adapt to new responsibilities and expectations of them. Encourage healthy habits. Dealing with the emotional and so many physical changes of puberty, it's not an easy task. They must have a good sleep pattern and healthy diet. Encourage and model all sorts of self-care they can take in this stage.
Okay. So, ma'am, are you saying that the adults in the family needs to take care of these points?
Yes, ma'am. These points are for teachers as well as all the people who are dealing with adolescents, because the adolescents at this stage are going through a real roller coaster rides of changes. So many physical changes are going there in their body, with physiological changes, psychological needs as well as all the emotional needs.
And if in case the teachers or the parents are unable to take care of the child, in this case what can happen? What would be the repercussions?
Ma'am, in this case the student will become the rebellious in nature, as well as they will not be able to cope up the pressure from the society as well. He or may not be show the good development mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's see some secondary sexual characters that takes place in girls and boys during this age. So here you can see the difference as well. In girls, height and weight will increase, fatty and subcutaneous tissue develop, but in boys muscles will develop, hip will get broadened, and in boys shoulder will get broadened. In girls, hair growth will take place in armpits and pubic region, but in boys it will also appearance of facial hair. Voice will become shrill in case of girls, but in boys voice breaks takes place due to the lengthening of vocal cord and enlarging of larynx. In girls breast development takes place, and in boys size of the penis will increase. So these all are secondary sexual characters that takes place in this stage. Now all these changes are controlled by chemical substances. These chemical substances are known as hormones. They are produced by endocrine glands which are present in our body. The male hormone which controls all the secondary sexual characters is called testosterone. It is produced in the testes in males. The female hormone which controls secondary sexual characters is called estrogen. It is produced in the ovary in the female. The production of these hormones is controlled by another gland called pituitary gland. So all these changes are controlled by these hormones which are produced by endocrine glands. Some more endocrine glands are also present in our body which produce chemical substances known as hormones. They have different functions in our body. Let's see some of the main endocrine glands. First of all, pituitary gland which controls growth and production of hormones by testes and ovary. It releases growth hormone also which controls height in boys as well as in girls. Next gland is thyroid gland. It produces thyroxine hormone. Its deficiency causes goiter, which is also known as swelling of throat. Adrenal gland, it produces adrenaline hormone. It helps the body to adjust to stress when we are angry or worried. Pancreas, pancreas produces insulin and its deficiency causes diabetes. Next is testes, which is present in male members only. It produces testosterone, which controls production of sperms and secondary sexual characters in males. Last one is ovary, which is present in females only. It produces estrogen, which controls production of eggs and secondary sexual characters in female. So here you can see some of the major physical changes for boys that they expect during the puberty, or the changes your son as a parent you may be noticing. Growing, boys can have growth during the puberty and become taller. Hair, as I told you, that the body hair may become thicker, hair develops under the armpits and around the genital organ. Facial hair may grow. Head hair may become greasy also. Development of the voice box as in Adam's apple. Skin, hormonal changes can cause skin problems like acne, oily or dry skin. Development of sweat gland will take place. Muscles may change shape and penis and testicles will grow and change. In this age, the erection will start in boys. When boys start to have sexual thoughts and feelings, they may start to get erection in this stage. When increased blood flow to the male penis, it makes expand and harden. They will have wet dreams also during the puberty stage. So these are the common changes that takes place in boys, or we can say males, during adolescent stage.
So ma'am, during the adolescent stage, are they men or are they boys?
Ma'am, they will known as a teenager at that time.
Okay. And after that, they become?
A woman, adult male.
Okay.
Okay. So here you now can see the physical changes for girls that we expect during the puberty. Growing, girls can have growth during the puberty and they become taller. The body shape will also change. Girls can become more rounded around the hips and the legs. The breast will develop and grow, sometimes not at the same rate as each other, which is a normal thing. So don't be worried about that also. Skin, hormonal changes can cause skin problems like acne, oily or dry skin. They will start having a discharge. They may get a thin, clear, transparent and whitish fluid in their underwear, which can comes from the vagina, and it will help them to prevent the infection. They will start periods as well in this stage as the uterus starts to prepare for the reproduction. The reproduction maturity will come now and the monthly cycle will begin, which means girls will have bleeding from the vagina every month. We will talk about this in our next slide also. The various signs of puberty in girls are hair growth, breast budding, pimples or acne, mood swings, height growth and periods.
So when we talk about mood swings, ma'am, what are the changes in those mood swings?
Ma'am, that mood swings can have the identity, self-identity, self-conscious, as well as the appearance of the girl as takes place, that how I am going to look like now in front of my peers, in front of society. So all these mood swings, they may be angry at some time, they may be happy at another point. So it will be like this only.
And how frequent could be these mood swings?
Ma'am, it will depend on the stress they are taking on.
Okay.
So suppose I am comfortable with all these changes, so mood swings will not appear in so much frequently. Okay. But if I am not comfortable with all these changes that are going to take place in my body, I am going to get irritated very frequently then.
Okay.
So, the most important thing is the awareness of all these changes that are going to take place during adolescence, and all these awareness will come from the teachers, parents and self.
Okay. Ma'am, we don't have much time left, although this is a very interesting topic going on, and I am sure all the viewers.
Sure, ma'am, but I am just going to finish all these changes very soon.
Sure.
So, at a glance you can see what happens during the puberty. So, this diagram will show all the changes during the puberty in a quick way. Here you can see some physical changes as well as emotional changes. In boys it will begin from 11 to 14 years old, but in girls it will begin from 11 to 12 years old and it will last for 19 years old. Here you can see emotional changes, mood swings, more sensitive, feeling self-conscious about physical changes, differently about peers. They may have feelings for opposite gender as well. Some physical changes are there for the boys as well as for the girls. And the reproductive phase in humans, as I told you that the capacity of reproduction will start at puberty and it will last for a longer time in males than in females. In females the capacity for reproduction starts at puberty, but it lasts for 40 to 50 years.
Okay. So, with this ma'am, I would like to thank you for giving us this much information regarding the age of adolescence, and I am sure all the children here, they can relate with it.
Yes ma'am, self-awareness and the awareness on the various changes that takes place during the puberty is very important to take this pressure, and I request all of the parents also to kindly cooperate or support your adolescents.
Absolutely. Thank you so much ma'am for the advice, and I am sure the parents, they are going to take care of their children. Thank you so much ma'am for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to all the children, to all the viewers for being with us today. I really think that you enjoyed this entire class of science. The age of adolescence, this is a very delicate age, as we all know, as we all have seen. So, the parents and teachers, they really need to take great care of the children around them. Thank you so much once again for being with us today. Our next program is also for all the students who are studying in class 8, and this is a maths class where we are going to discuss the topic direct and inverse proportion, and this is the second part of the same topic. So be here and keep on watching eVidya channels. Thank you so much. Take great care of yourself. I'm Tanvi Khurana and I'll take a leave of you. Namaskar.